Hello, my name is Jack Swoboda. Um, for my final project in Introduction to Esports, the video game I have picked is Rocket League. Um, Currently, my favorite game. It has a very big competitive esports scene, and I'm going to play a game. So, to start out, the basics. This game is uh, it's pretty much rocket powered uh, cars playing soccer. It's basically actually the prequel to this game is named Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars, and I find that to be a very good description of what the game is. So, um, I am currently, uh, the middle of the ranks in this game, but all professional players in all esports athletes for this game are ranked Supersonic Legend. It's the highest rank in the game. It's very hard to reach, and about point 0.2 to 0.5% of the player base is actually that rank. So I'm just gonna warm up a bit while I talk about the game, and then I'll play a game while I talk about the esports. So this is basically training. To most people who don't play this game, it probably will make you dizzy, but it is just as described, cars playing soccer. I enjoy the 2v2 game mode the most, as I'm sure many other people do. In fact, I believe it is the most played game mode. But the professional side of Rocket League is usually played in the 3v3, called here Standard, as you can see. It is what's the biggest tournament considered RLCS, or Rocket League Championship Series, is played in. There are many other tournaments that are played in this game. Some hosted by content creators, some hosted by companies, and things like, RLCS or RLRS, which is Rocket League Rival Series, which is basically a less popular but still semi, if not fully professional tournament that is also hosted by the owners of this game, Psyonix. Psyonix was bought by Epic recently, Epic Games, who own games like Fortnite and things like that, within the past, 2-3 years. And there are other big tournaments, such as things called DreamHacks. DreamHack tournaments are popular, E-League tournaments, and WSOE tournaments. So Rocket League hosts most of those, not Rocket League, Psyonix, apologies, host those tournaments, whereas the other 1v1 or 2v2 tournaments are hosted by content creators or organizations of some of the professional teams. For example, if I go back here, the shop in this game sells esports teams what they call decals. It's basically like, in some games it would be skins or things like that. So these are all the North America teams. We have popular ones here like TSM. They're all their own thing, but TSM, Space Station Gaming, very popular ones. NRG, OG Red Bull. I mean, sorry, not OG Red Bull. Red Bull sponsors OG. But in this RLCS tournament, the biggest tournament, actually, I'll load up in a game. I'll play competitive 3v3. Hopefully I can still talk while I play. But the RLCS has play-in tournaments where smaller teams have a chance of making the tournament, and so they can be recognized, bought, how esports works. And each team, or sorry, each region, which if I go back here, there are 5 regions, and the bigger ones like North America, Europe, have 4 teams each that qualify to go to the Rocket League Championship Series, and smaller teams, smaller regions like Oceania or Australia, South America, and we have here Asia, Middle East, and Africa, which are all combined, each have 2 teams to go to the big tournament. So recently, this game has had, I believe, it's been out since July 7th, 2015, and the pro scene started at about Season 3, which was somewhere around the January of 2017. Well, not the professional scene, but the Rocket League Championship Series, which is hosted by the owner of this game. Otherwise, so this game is not only all about, playing, which is obviously, you can see here, 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. It's not all about playing the basics, but here we have Hoops, which is like a basketball game mode, Rumble, which is a game mode with superpowers, and if you saw, there was a game called Drop Shot, where it's kind of confusing to explain. And so as you can see here, my teammates, I'm on the blue team. My teammates here are, we've just been scored on, scoreboard actually. There we go, Spoofy and Electro Gamer 629. So this game is all about teamwork, where, oh my, bad game for us. So you can pass in this game. I mean, it's just like soccer, right? You can pass, save, shoot, score, simple things like that. Professional teams obviously have things like coaches and analysts and basically what sports teams have, right? So they definitely have to strategize and game plan for tournaments, competitions, and really just games. As you can see, I scored there. So this game is very difficult to master. In fact, what I would consider, from the games I've played, the hardest or most difficult game to mechanically master. Especially in this game, they use the term mechanics, which is basically all these different skills that you can use, button combinations, and obviously pro esports athletes are the best at those things. You can see there's 5-minute games, and after those 5 minutes, if the score is tied, it goes into overtime, which is just a sudden death game. And this game is very big on latency, which is difficult for all of these graphics. So things like this grass on the field that we're all driving on right now is, run by latency, and there's a lot of lag in this game. Well, let me rephrase. There's not much lag, but lag has a big effect on the game. So if you're lagging, you really have no chance. It's it's all about your connection. So these esports games are all, I guess not all, but the biggest ones are LAN tournaments. LAN being tournaments in person, and the setup of these tournaments, because they're all 3v3, is basically 3 computers, or gaming PCs next to each other for the 3 players, and then 3 right across from them, making it 3v3. You're sat right across from your competition. There's a lot of competitive. Oh my! There's a lot of there's a competitive nature in this game. There are semi-professional and fully professional tournaments, and then there's also things, as I said earlier, where they're hosted by content creators. Sometimes for money or prizes, or there's still tournaments where pros can compete, and sometimes just any player can compete. I personally enjoy the feature where they have tournaments. So Rocket League hosts player tournaments every 2 hours, where it could be a 2v2, a 3v3, or a game mode, as I said earlier, like basketball. They do have a hockey game mode, or things like Rumble with superpowers. My teammates want to vote to forfeit here. I don't know about that. There's 4 seconds left. I'll play it out. And esports athletes usually don't like to play in them. They don't find them as exciting, and I don't blame them, because the pro scene will host tournaments at things like big stadiums, and they'll sell them out, and when the stadiums are filled out with people, obviously it's just like physical sports. There's fans rooting for certain teams, and there's a lot of energy in these stadiums. Pros with personality sometimes will have things like a really big hat, right, or some wings or something like that to set themselves apart from the others, and that's what attracts fans. Or sometimes content creators go pro, or professionals start making content, and they attract a lot of fans, and therefore when they go to LAN tournaments, everyone's rooting for them, right? It's a simple way to grab people's attention, and it's definitely effective. There are many players, or esports athletes, who compete in these events. Obviously, at least 3 players a team. Usually there are substitutes, so a 4th player per team, and there are trades, just like physical sports, where you can trade players from team to team. The salaries of these esports athletes are, some are around, it's a good living. I'd consider it $75,000-$80,000 a year. And for this game, Rocket League, the esports athletes themselves are not often female, but we do have many female content creators for this game, which I do enjoy watching many of them. And I do think there is variety, or there's many different races and religions, people of such, that do play or do compete in the professional scene. Very inclusive pro scene. Coaches sometimes are female, as well as analysts, and it's a very popular esports game. Not as big as some like Call of Duty, League of Legends, Dota, things like that, but I think it is a game that some would consider slept on. Although there are many players, there should definitely be many more. I would suggest this game to anyone watching, and thank you.